The Sunrail is the local commuter train in the Orlando area, and there is a station up in Winter Park, and you really know you're in a fancy upscale area when the shrubs are cut to say the name of the town that you're visiting, Winter Park. And while the shops are definitely more upscale, the parking is free up to 3 hours. So the Winter Park station is also served by Amtrak. So from here in Winter Park, you could take a train as far south as Miami or as far north as New York City, like my hat. There's an app, and you could also get the timetables at the station. There are a total of 16 stops. And from Winter Park, you could be in downtown Orlando in 20 minutes. Winter Park has a downtown historic district, and the main drag is Park Avenue. And just like with Jacksonville and other Florida cities, you could expect to see a lot of Spanish moss hanging from the trees. Winter Park has a public market called the East End Market. We're off to a good start with the mochi donuts. Looks like we got cheese, biscuits, so we're definitely in the South. And here it is. I think I am going to make Boxer and Clover my first stop for some brisket. So I'm going to take my first bite of brisket just like this, plain. There's a rub on the outside. I taste a little bit of salt, maybe a tiny bit of pepper. I personally am not a big fan of barbecue sauce. I don't think you need it for this. The meat's very tender, and I think it's good enough just like that. Now I'm thinking mochi donuts would be a good second course here at the East End Market. We got lots of different options, including ube glazed and taro pebbles. So from Dochi, I got the taro fruity pebbles. So the base has ube mixed in, and then the taro top, the frosting is white chocolate, and then there are also some fruity pebbles on there. So the mochi is not quite as gooey as it's been with some mochi donuts I've had. The frosting's really sweet, and the fruity pebbles, that's why I ordered it, because I wanted to get that little bit of crunchiness from them. I also want to try wafu for taiyaki. I think what I'm going to do is a taiyaki cone with cereal milk and hojicha powder. And this is something I've never seen before, mochi Rice Krispies. Arigato. So here it is, cereal milk with hojicha powder, and it's already starting to melt. So this kind of tastes like maybe if you left the cereal and the marshmallows in a bowl of Frankenberry or Fruity Pebbles or something like that, and then you remove them and like drank the milk. That's kind of how this tastes, if that makes sense. Well, Park Avenue was nice for a stroll. I'm glad I ate at the East End Market instead. I got to try a few different things. I'm gonna rank them with the brisket #1. That was the most memorable. I have to say the taiyaki #2. The ice cream itself had a taste that kind of brought me back to my childhood. And then finally the mochi. I do enjoy ube, but I don't order it that much. So yeah, those are my 3. If you'd like, leave a comment. Have you been to the East End Market? Have you been to Winter Park, Orlando? I'd love to hear. Winter Park's Park Avenue commercial strip is just a few blocks from where you get the boat. Winter Park is north of downtown Orlando, and I am getting ready to do the scenic boat tour. So the sign behind me says Venice of America. Now I've been to Venice, California. I've even been to Venice, Louisiana. I didn't know Florida had something similar to Venice, but I'm about to do an hour cruise and find out what they're talking about.
We love frequent floaters. We're gonna catch up with the other boats because we got to get through the canals together. And if you follow basketball, that is where Penny Hardaway made his famous Nike commercial when he played basketball for the Orlando Magic. Our oldest live oaks and it is supposed to be somewhere between 300 and 400 years old. In the mid 1800s, our friends from up north started showing up down here to get rid of all of the elements and to enjoy their winters and to harvest our hardwoods. They started harvesting all of our trees around our lakes and shipping them back up north to use them to build their carriages. Bridge, it gets narrow, and if you feel tall, you probably need to duck. And our tour on our lakes, I hope you enjoyed them as much as we enjoy sharing our lakes. And I am bringing you back to the most historic place on our chain of lakes. We have been doing these tours out of this little boathouse continuously every day but Christmas since 1938.
Park Avenue has 10 blocks of different shops, but there's also a little area called Hidden Garden right here. And the Ancient Olive is a little hidden olive oil shop where you can find different blends from around the world. So it's nice to be out of the Orlando winter park heat. And here are some of the different taps they have. As I'm in Florida, I got to try the Sunshine. So this is a mix of different citrus. So that one had blood orange, mango, and tangerine, but only in Florida would you see a suggestion to pair it with Gator. Next, I'm trying the Winter Park Rosé. All right, I'm gonna say between the two, I found the Winter Park to be a little more intense, and I think I'm gonna go with the Sunshine as someone who just loves anything citrus. So that's it, I'm taking the Sunshine blend back to New York.